Hey Gearhawk fans out there, it's me Gearhawk here, coming at you guys with another review. Today's review is going to be over the Fenix LD22. Man, this is an amazing flashlight. So I've had this flashlight for approximately about a year. I've been using it, I use it almost every single day, if not like a couple of times a week, to find something or get out and I have to look at, in the dark. I'm always using this flashlight. And it's been through a lot. It's seen a lot of wear and tear, and actually it hasn't shown hardly any wear and tear, even though it rides on my belt almost every single day, which is kind of interesting, because I don't have much experience with the company Fenix, but apparently they're a really good company who sells really good flashlights at a really affordable price. I would highly recommend looking up some of their other stuff if you're not interested in this specific size. They do have a wide variety of ranges of sizes and power levels for their flashlights, and I believe they're a U.S. based company. I think they do a lot of their manufacturing here in the United States. I'm not sure if they outsource or not to other countries. I was unable to find really any specific information on what their outsourcing was or whether or not they were U.S. made or not. It doesn't really matter. The product itself is what I really am more concerned about. So let's talk a little bit about the flashlight. It's got a Cree XPG2. Which has got a lifespan of approximately 50,000 hours. So you can get 50,000 hours out of this entire flashlight, which is pretty good. It has 4 different modes of light, plus an additional 2. I'll tell you guys about those. There's a low, a medium, a high, and then there's a turbo. And then there's those 2 additional modes I was talking about is a SOS and a strobe mode. The low produces about 3 lumens worth of light. Medium is about 50. The high is about 105, and then the turbo is about 215 lumens. That's a lot. 250 lumens is quite a lot. I don't know if you guys have ever been shined in the face with a 250 lumen flashlight, but it's quite bright. I know there are flashlights out there that have even more. For my job and what I do, this is about the perfect amount of light that I need. So it functions and works for me. On maximum on turbo, I think the battery life lasts about 2 hours. On the low setting, I think you can get about 150 hours out of the batteries, which is, makes sense. 3, lumens for 150 hours. And then there's a whole variety of hours that you can get out of the batteries if you're using it in different modes. That doesn't really concern me all that much. Batteries are going to go out and you're going to have to replace them. I always carry an extra set of batteries with me anyways, just so I can have backup batteries in case my flashlight does go out. Because I'm constantly using it. I'm not keeping track of how many hours are left in my battery life of my flashlight. I believe the SOS and the strobe, SOS I believe is 105 lumens, and then the strobe is 215 lumens. And I don't know the hours on those and how long they last, but I assume that, they're shorter amounts of time. Probably somewhere between, 2 hours and 14 hours for the medium, high, and turbo, somewhere around there. So anyways, that doesn't really matter to me. I think that it's great. I think the battery life is, it's wonderful that you have these different modes so you can kind of, in a way, be selective on when you use certain light and how much light you're emitting, especially if you're trying to be covert or a little bit more covert. I would think that this light would be excellent for law enforcement or even the everyday average person who needs a really dependable flashlight. It is an aluminum pillar construction, so it's made out of one piece of aluminum. Obviously, they've designed the head and the butt end where the clicker button comes off to be removed. It will build up with dirt and things, so I would recommend cleaning it every now and then. That's just the head. There's all the computer programming parts and pieces in there, along with a rubberized button that has a G on it. I'm not really sure what the G stands for, but you click that to get your different modes, and I'll show you guys how you actually do that. So I'm just going to screw the head back on here. It does say on the actual head of the flashlight here, it says warning hot, and if you leave it on for an extended amount of time, it will get warm and you can possibly burn yourself. It does have kind of a tooth structure here, so you can use that to kind of, I guess, as a defensive weapon if you had to. In a pinch, you could use this to, strike at somebody, or maybe even put in and twist if need be. I'm not sure the exact usage of those, but I know that that's some flashlights have real aggressive texturing up here on the front for that. It does have a click button in the back, which is nice, very simple, and it has a very sturdy and strong steel clip here for putting in your pocket or on a coat or on some your LBE or whatever, your molly weaving patterns or whatnot. So it's really kind of a universal tool. It does also have lanyard holes up here as well, and there you can see I've dinged it from dropping it. Apparently it says on the website that you can only drop it from 1 meter. I accidentally dropped this down a flight of stairs, so if you can imagine that this thing went through a whole flight of stairs. I'm not sure how many steps, probably 20 steps. Totally fine. And it didn't really even get scratched up at all, hardly. And that was another thing I was going to talk about, is the anodized aluminum or whatever they put, whatever coating is on this. Man, that stuff is on there, and it's not coming off unless you bang it off or sandpaper it off. I mean, this stuff is really, really well constructed. So that was another great thing about the flashlight that I really liked. The overall weight of the actual flashlight itself is only 2.1 ounces, which is really, really, it's nothing in comparison to some flashlights out there. So for the amount of light that you're actually getting, 215 lumens, for 2 ounces, that's kind of worth it to me. I think that's a really good buy. And there's a lot of flashlights out there that are so bulky, but they only produce like 150 lumens. It's like, why would you carry that around? I don't know. I would just choose the smaller one if I had anything. I guess you could use it for a striking weapon if it were bigger, or whatnot. Anyways, let's move on. So it is waterproof up to a certain point. I think it's waterproof up to about 3 meters is what I got from the website. So I wouldn't go around dunking it underwater, but it's definitely rainproof or water resistant. I've had it on while it was raining, just pouring rain. It was totally uncovered, butt end up, and still worked, no problems. So I think it's probably good to go as far as any kind of weather that you may receive with this. The modes on it, I was going to show you guys real quick. It does take 2 AA batteries, which is really nice, really convenient. AA's are found pretty much anywhere at any store, which is really, I think, is a real win for this flashlight, having AA's. I use rechargeable ones. I can get about 50 hours out of them before I have to throw them back on the recharger. So, and that's if I'm using it every single day, maybe less, 50 hours is about approximate. And that's about how much I work a week. So, anyways, so the flashlight itself has different modes. I was going to show you guys real quick over here. This is the low mode. So it's just very simple and very, very small, 3 lumens or whatnot. And then you click this rubberized button on the back right here with the G. You click that, and that changes the modes. So you can actually trying to show you guys. See, that is the medium mode. So that is the, 50 lumens mode, and then that is the high, which is 105. And then the turbo, which you click it again, is 215 lumens. That's a lot, and that's really bright. Apparently, they say on the high mode you can get about 115 meters out with the turbo mode on, so you can see that far. And then if you hold the gray button down, you get the strobe mode, which is blinding, and it literally makes you feel sick to your stomach if you look at it. And then if you hold down the gray button again, you get the SOS mode. That's not the SOS mode. Hold on. You get the SOS mode. And the SOS mode works really well, I think. It's a good thing to have, I guess, if you're out on a boat or if you're on an island or something, and you need to get somebody's attention. I think it's a good thing to have. The practicalities and usage of it, I'm not sure how often you would use it, but if you were in an emergency and you needed it, it's there for you to have. Still a good feature to have, I think. How many people know SOS? And, I don't know. There's a lot of ships and things out there, I guess, or if they're trying to signal down a plane to land, I guess that would be really beneficial. So just one of those things you just think about. And back to low mode once you click that gray button again. And I mean, really, I mean, when I'm looking around the house and I have things I can't find, or I'm looking in a closet and I don't have enough light, I just grab the handy dandy Fenix and go to town. Very useful. Well, anyways, I'm Gearaholic, and that's a review over the Fenix LD22. Great flashlight. I think everybody should go and get one. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them below, and I will try to get back to you as fast as possible. All right, I'm Gearaholic.